The way I often describe Historic when you're building decks or brewing is the litmus test for the current format is that you need to either be interactive in the first few turns of the game, or if you're completely linear, you need to be able to generate turn 3 or turn 4 kills somewhat consistently if your opponent's not interacting with you. This deck is able to do the latter on the back of our namesake card, Storm Herald here. When this enters the battlefield, return any number of auras from your graveyard to play attached to your creatures. You exile them at the beginning of the next end step, which is fine. There's usually not going to be a next end step. So we use cards like Salvage, Faithless Looting, Stitcher, Supplier, Mire Triton, and Calls the Dead to dump a bunch of cards into our bin. And then with things like Ancestral Mask, Prodigious Growth, Rune of Might, and Setessan Training, we make a big giant monster or two when Storm Herald comes into play, and we attack for lots of damage. And something that isn't uncommon with this deck is to be attacking for 40 or 50 damage on the third or fourth turn of the game. Happens with some consistency. Our sideboard plan here, you'll see, is kind of unique. We have what I refer to as a transformational sideboard postboard, where if we're expecting our opponent to bring in a lot of graveyard hate against us, we pivot into just being this fair beatdown plan with a little bit of interaction and things like Maelstrom Pulse. In fact, looking at the sideboard and thinking about how the control matchups have played out, I think I'm actually going to cut the Duress and a Questing Beast, and I'm going to go up to 4 Shifting Ceratops. I think Ceratops is just like easily the best creature you can be playing against. Control right now. Hey, thanks for the 7 months, Wit. Let's go ahead and dive on into some matches with this one and see how the Herald does with the addition of Grisly Salvage. Is non-blue control viable? Yeah, I think so. You have discard spells. Like the Grixis control deck that we play is a mostly non-blue control deck. Has like a very small splash for threats. It's not like we're playing a bunch of counter magic in it. It has Supplier and Binding, but it has these cards that are kind of mediocre. We have 3 of our colors though, which makes me inclined to want to keep. Thanks for the follow, Jupiter. We aim to please, Fizzy. That's true. And that's the thing too. If either of these cards mill us into a Faithless Looting, suddenly these turn into gas. Just like we drew it up, chat. Remember, I am a trained professional. Do not attempt this at home. All right, and they're playing Gruul, which probably means they're gonna attack into this and let us get milled 3 more cards. A Scotch, unfortunate that they didn't mill any creatures there in their Gruul deck. I'm taking my meme and I'm going home. Our transformational sideboard plan is not very good against Gruul. And main deck Klothys, they want it more than us. That's something we've talked about with the Reanimator decks. You're going to be playing a deck like this that's leaning very hard in the graveyard. People that want to beat you are frequently going to beat you. You just got to shake it off and move on to the next one. This hand's a banger. This may not look like it. This is a Storm Herald, chat. Main deck Rest in Peace. Main deck Rest in Peace is wild. Especially in a format where Relic of Progenitus is legal too. That's a strange one to me. Alright, we've got our first Gandalf of the morning, chat. Afternoon. of the set. The MPL had a lot of main deck grips. Yeah, open deck lists and Brainstorm both factor that a little bit. Yeah, maybe this one is Storm Herald. We actually haven't milled any Storm Heralds in 21 cards, so this is a matchup where our scrappy creature beatdown is our primary game plans. Like our suppliers and our Mire Tritons here are looking to punch the clock and go to work. And we're looking to like force them into a position with our mediocre creatures where they like have to cast Wrath of God. Is the goal basically? Might just be flashing back looting here, huh? Honestly, I think we're keeping the Rune of Might. Am I? I guess I'm ditching it actually, because I want to be able to salvage into Storm Herald next turn. But they're like fourth land. If they go like fourth land, sweep the board, I want to be able to cast this and then kill them. Yeah, I think the potential for a turn 4 sweeper here is high. Like, they're low enough at this point. They like haven't cast a Lightning Helix or anything like that. So leaving myself the possibility to find and cast Storm Herald next turn is a lot of upside. There's 29 cards in my deck. I feel like this always happens the first match we play with this deck on stream. It's always just like no Storm Heralds, the top like 800 cards. They're gonna cast Wrath of God and deck us, chat? Is that what's about to happen here? I didn't miss it, right? They've been committed. Are we sure we put Storm Herald in the deck? Not 100%.
Keep up the pace.
Oh, we hit one! We did it! We found one!
Let's skip to the good part.
Oh man, that's great. All right. I reported 15 cards. So you board out the big linear ones. You board out this individually weak card that only cares about the graveyard. But honestly, probably just another looting. And you leave in the runes and the training, so that way this can kind of generate value when it comes into play. Like, if this comes into play and draws a card, that's nice. And then we have Klothys and these Dorkos to kill them with. Although, I guess if they're on Rest in Peace actually turns off Klothys, which is a little awkward. Thanks for the follow, Ogre Pit. Oh, Jeskai control. You're such a stain on this format. How can we leave in all 4 bindings? Because it picks a creature back up out of our graveyard. It still draws us a creature or a land. Obviously, it's not great if Rest in Peace is in play. But, like, what card in my sideboard do you want instead of binding? Any reasonable chance to turn Klothys into a creature? Nah, not really. He'd theoretically have, like, 3 Ceratops, I guess. It's pretty unlikely. Almost hit keep. That is not a black pathway. Why is there Dovin vetoing against us? I think I'm just like taking Shark Typhoon, taking Narset. So the 23 months Ash World. Good morning. Good afternoon, whatever time of day it is, wherever you're at. Do-do-do. Listen, chat, I don't know that we have a good plan, but we have a plan. Waste them with their own baffling edge. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we've got Ceratops and Questing Beasts in our deck. And a bunch of very reasonable draws from those. This will pick a Mire Triton back up here in a little bit. I assume they're going to play this out. Prioritize exiling cards in case they have a Gear Hulk that could flash them back. Nice. Oh, we know they don't have Gear Hulk because of Orphan Guard. That's a good catch. If they don't find a rest in peace, Klothys buries them very quickly. Laps me, daddy. I don't think there's any reason to play this into a lapse. They like Shark Typhoon right now. They have Shark Typhoon. They have Commit to Memory. That's a pretty good one. That's punishing for not playing the Storm Herald. Yeah, I should have just played those. Festing Beast. So nice, we'll draw it twice, chat. They have Shark Typhoon 2. Command, sure. Afternoon, JK Parker. I imagine we're gonna see the veto hit the bin here. Whenever we see the old Naked Memory, they do have more lands than we do. And like they know the top of our deck has a bunch of gas on it. Alright, and then naturally this or this is a memory lapse, right? So this Questing Beast doesn't get to do anything. Yeah, definitely glad I went up to 4 Ceratops. Shame that we drew Questing Beast instead of Ceratops. Hopefully they just have a Helix. Howmph!
Time for Plan B. As soon as I think of one.
Yeah, I agree. The games that involve just guy control tend to be very tedious, Cyanide. Is the best way to put them. Wow, just had stone cold nothing, huh? Thanks for the Ceratops. Nice. Sweet. But, haven't gotten to show off our primary game plan yet, but pretty good showing for the sideboard plan there. I cut the Duress in the 3rd Questing Beast. You can see the current deck list that we're playing by typing !deck in chat. I'll update the one on my website after we're done today. Yeah, Ceratops is definitely stellar. I think I have enough graveyard stuff in my hand with Binding and Storm Herald maybe bringing back Rune of Might that I want to Maelstrom Pulse this rest in peace. You don't always care about graveyard hate post board in this one, but Yeah, put a questing beast to the bin, so if they don't have another piece of graveyard hate here, Binding of the Titans can pick that back up in a bit. Trying Storm Herald here. If this works, we get to bring our 2 enchant creatures back to draw 2, which is again basically what Storm Herald does post board in these matchups. Is you just attach some cantrips to him with your trainings and your runes. Come on, cast your Memory Lapse. I'm gonna split these up, so that way when they have a lightning helix, they can't kill both of them. Is there ever a situation where you double juke someone in sideboarding, like bring back in some of the combo pieces? Yeah, definitely. There's also a lot of situations, if you go back and watch previous broadcasts of this, where I'll explicitly leave the combo in for game 2 if I lose game 1, and then game 3 on the draw I'll turn into the more fair game plan. So, unless they interact with the graveyard here or do something, Binding's gonna grab Questing Beast here, which is good news. Okay, and then I think with the land draw here, I actually wait on Questing Beast rather than trying to play it out into a counterspell here. And I want to go ahead and Mire Triton plus Storm Herald to double threat, double spell. I could just Binding here now too. Although the upside to holding on to Binding is if I draw an untapped land next turn, I can go Binding plus Questing Beast, which is nice. Hey, Shark and Bake, thanks for the gift sub. Appreciate that. Man, they are a big fan of the Naked Memory, huh? Okay, and then this turn, I definitely want to just cast 2 spells and save my uncounterable spell for a turn where they have mana available. Who isn't a fan of Naked Memories? Hey, maybe their hand was just atrocious. They did have more lands than me, so like there is some value to them doing that because they're up on mana, if their hand is bad. And like, they knew I had a Questing Beast, so they knew I had at least one good card. If their hand didn't have an answer to Questing Beast, like... Hey, Michael Marachi, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate it. The next Open is coming up this weekend, by the way. If there's anybody interested in playing some Historic in a tournament with full coverage this weekend, or just come in to watch all day on Sunday, starting at 10 a.m. Central, will be broadcasting here on the channel. I have Covert Go Blue joining me as my co-commentator this weekend. Excited to work with him again. We're doing well, Ewan.
I know my You know what? I'm not.
Alright, so we've got 5 mana. They've got 5 mana, but they explicitly did not untap Castle. Interesting to note. I'm never playing around Settle the Wreckage. Don't bring it up in chat. It's always wrong to play around Settle unless you know it's there. Where in the Discord are the instructions for the open? They are on the page for the open itself. You look at the open, there is a rules tab that dictates how to get everything done. I know a timeout request when I see one.
How long do you want to wait for a rematch?
Can we change the settle command to whenever playing around settle on the ladder? I got you, Pathfinder. One dumb dino boy, please. Hey, Wiggly. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Yeah, he tramples too, friend. Yay! I find myself unsettled by settle. Please send help. We'll try. Okay, and we hit a Faithless Looting. Sweet. Got a little selection here. And plenty of lands in place. Any lands we draw at this point, we'll hold for that. So they need an answer to Shifty and then also Questing Beast. Starting by drawing cards is good for us. Okay. So this is a small thing, but I actually want to play Calls the Dead before I cast Questing Beast, because if they memory lapse Questing Beast, I don't want to mill it with Calls the Dead. This could also bait a memory lapse potentially too, which has value. Nailed it, chat. They're going to 1. And then we're holding this land to discard the Faithless Looting. That makes blue sharks. Yep. This deck is super real. the bindings picking up. The helix doesn't kill themselves. when you helix yourself to concede, but it just doesn't work. And I got a top right. Got a top right. Alright, hopefully we can get a game where we get to like do our primary game plan instead of grinding people out. But yeah, that was a good example, I think, of like, okay, how do you beat graveyard hate like that? You like pivot and you play this weird Jund mid-range thing that's like kind of graveyardy, but not all in on it. The Dragonstorm deck was awesome, and yeah, it's already been added back to the queue. If you didn't watch us play Dragonstorm yesterday on stream, it's worth going back and watching. It was phenomenal. I put it up on my website in the fan favorite decks, because I know a new fan favorite when I see it. Sorry about that, I was updating a command. I already have the third land. Do I just like take the Storm Herald in case they're a counterspell deck? I think that's the plan. We cut the last copies of Calls the Dead from the Abzan deck. Yeah, it's real good, Andrew. Honestly, this is one of the best non-dredge graveyard enablers ever printed. It's super powerful. It's a Teamer land. Your opponent feeling a little rampy. Or flashy, I guess I should say. Like to find an untapped land with this so we can then binding. I notably don't have double green available, so Nightpack Ambusher isn't a concern here. No, Fling isn't really a playable card in this deck. Hey, this is 26 months ghosted. Morning, Birdman. Howdy, howdy. There's something that punishes me for this attack. I don't think so without double green. You gonna get your Hulk next turn? Good get your Hulk next turn. Best deck in historic post-back ban. Just got control. So I don't think I want to go for the Storm Herald into a Magma Opus this turn. I'm gonna ditch these two. And then we'll do this. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the text on Apex of Death is, so I'm gonna assume it's probably not very good. Wow, no Magma Opus is huge here. Finally, at long last, I've achieved the map badge. Thanks for 36 months, Rox. Welcome back. And then next turn, we have double Storm Herald. This either dings them for 1, or we get to mill 3. Either of those are a W for us. Afternoon Shield. Welcome to the channel. We have enough lands to double Herald this turn, which is great. See if they have Rewind plus another counter. I've got 4 rewinds in the build on my site, so I would not be surprised to see a third one here. Attach Rune of Might. Attach Prodigious Growth. Attach Ancestral Mask. Attach Prodigious Growth. They're actually not dead here, right? This is only 1825. They have to block with all their stuff, though. Nah, I think Kling is better, Durka. Kling draws multiple cards in a game. Relic just draws 1. Was it lethal? They're at 17. They have 10 toughness. I'm attacking for 1826. No, they go to 1, right? They're effectively at 27. I'm attacking for 26. Oh, I'm right. I mathed that correctly. All right, so I think this is a matchup where we don't pivot off our primary game plan, but we do bring in some disruption. Like I think we board in the 4 Thoughtseizes, and that's probably it. It's from the Mire Triton, so it doesn't block super profitably. And then what else? What do I want to get rid of here? There could be an argument for Klothys to like pick apart their graveyard and making their Torrential Gearhulks worse too. That might be moving away from our primary plan a little bit too much. Just trim around the edges here. I guess this isn't really blocking anything profitably. So maybe we get rid of... This isn't really blocking, which means it's only ever milling 3 cards. Maybe that means it's not good enough. We do like this and bring in 2. Let's try this. If you check out the Discord page on my website, there's a screenshot that shows you how to join. The TLDR is go to the Connections tab. Go to the Connections tab on your Discord page on desktop, and you'll be able to join up. You can see there when I type in chat, I have been subscribed to my own channel for 69 months. Nice. That means I've been partnered for 69 months, chat. All right, I think I'm going to keep this and greed a little bit and bottom the 3rd land. Almost misclicked there. Want to keep that one. Want to ditch these two. Hey, Zero, thanks for the tier 2. I appreciate the 28 months. My longest sub, aside from myself. Tumo's there in chat's one of them. At 69 months. They've been subscribed as long as I have. I think Tumo's might be it at this point. We have a few people that have been subbed for 60 plus months. No, Twitch automatically gives you a tier 3 sub to your own channel, MK, so you have your own emotes and stuff. I also get all of my own bit emotes without sharing them. So do I want a binding or do I want a Grisly Salvage? I think there's value in getting binding going here. So that way it can redraw something for us. This digs a little deeper though. Ooh, I think we want to just jam that, right? Did you know that all of us are actually just Croaky's alts? Wow! Brutal! Savage! Wrecked! Counter your Klothys. Shuffle the cards you care about from your graveyard back into your deck. Holy shit. Was that legal to show on Twitch? Is my account gonna get flagged for obscene content? I mean, this card is good. I recommend playing it in the flash deck, but it is not supposed to be anywhere near that good. It's a playable Magic card. It's not supposed to brutalize me like that. Ooh. All right, Milady is in play, and she is ready to Sulfuric Vortex this opponent for us. I'm doing this now because I'd like to play a land drop if we hit it. Nice, we hit it. And we'll tap, and then we'll cast this one at the end of their turn. So the problem with just playing this out here is that if I play this out and they have like a Brazen Borrower or a Stomp, they can just bounce it or kill it, which wouldn't be great for me. So I think I want to wait until I have a second creature to put things on. Hey, I'm enjoying the HA52, Griegs. Thanks for the quarter view. I appreciate that. Welcome back. No, they're playing Temur Flash. The scary part about waiting on our side is that they have the temple, the castle in play getting to scry with for value. I guess I could have exiled something from my own yard here. Chat, I am very happy being a part of F2K. All right, listen, chat. Ain't nobody got time to play around this last card. Please concede. No, man. Karma Spray! No! Look at the way they massacred my boy, chat. Look at the way they did my boy dirty. He can only bring them back attached to creatures, right? Yeah, attached to creatures you control. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to keep the Prodigious Growth. I can catch that. I needed this sooner. So we could have had 2 cards there. And there's a good chance we don't get out of this from here because, like I said, they're scrying every turn, which means the odds of them hitting meaningful interaction are high. Okay, that flooped us into a Faithless Looting. There's only 20 cards in my deck, and 3 of those cards are Storm Herald. Listen, chat. I know there's only 14 cards left, and I'm about to mill 6 of them, but my dojo does not contain fear. I ain't scared. Alright, we have 1 Storm Herald in however many cards. Yep, you can go to my profile to check out all the decks that I've played earlier. Are they about to Magma Opus me off of red mana? I think we're about to get Magma Opused off of red mana, chat. This is incredibly rude. Times like these, I think Call the Death Dweller is still good for this deck. Disagree completely. Which is why I've cut the card. Ah! We'd have played this on red earlier. I thought I didn't need triple red. I was wrong. So, little bit, the best advice I could give you, chat, is don't be one of those people who cuts a land from their deck every time they flood and adds a land every time they screw. I got statistically unlucky, so don't make a change. Feels like it would be 5th or 6th Storm Herald, though. No, it wouldn't. Grisly Salvage is like 5th and 6th Storm Herald too. Binding is like 5th and 6th Storm Herald. We have lots of cards that end up giving you more copies of Storm Herald. Salvage is significantly better. The mana base can't support Unburial Rites. Unburial Rites flashes back for white. Alright, this hand needs a Faithless Looting. I just play 6 Heralds like in paper. Exactly. So, this card doesn't do anything against us. In fact, cards like this are actually part of the reason why I it stops Faithless Looting. It does do that. But this doesn't stop Herald. Herald! Get the enchantments, Herald! Oh, Balagad Recovery, the Modal Double Face Regrow. Do you think that's better than any of the spells I'm currently playing? If so, which spell do you think it's better than, and why do you think it's better than that spell? Can you explain? And try and put Ancestral Mask in here. There's a good chance this gets bounced or killed in response. I think I'm gonna do one more deck after this, Magnus. Greg's, thanks for the 3 months, by the way. I think I missed that one a few minutes ago. Baby Vincenzo, thanks for the follow. You always lose your sword when you get timed out, Quarth. That's a Twitch feature. Because Twitch makes the silly assumption that if you're timing out a moderator, they did something bad. Not that you're doing them a favor. Yeah, I think we're unfortunately dead here. If I would have sequenced my lands differently in that second game, we would have won. But feels like we're pretty out of this at this point. Yeah, I think Balagad is worse than all of the spells I'm currently playing in this deck. And it's definitely not better than any of the lands. This deck can't afford to play tap lands. So the 31 months, Rain Spider, welcome back. Yeah, maybe their hand is all blanks, right? Like if this doesn't kill us, I'm gonna attack here because if they have a Night Pack Ambusher, I'm conceding anyways. I'll do it again next turn, I swear. The Modern Horizon 2 spoilers look like gas, and we might play some Modern on stream after it releases. Firm maybe. I'm going to put a question on my subscriber survey for June asking if subscribers would like to see some Modern Horizons played on Magic Online. So if you're someone who would definitely like to see that, make sure you fill out that survey next month. If you're someone who definitely doesn't want to see that, make sure you fill out the survey next month. I'm gonna make that. I don't have super strong feelings either way. If there's an interest, we'll do it. You wish you could use bits on my sub survey to say yes. I weigh the responses of tier 3 subs higher than tier 1 and tier 2, believe it or not. There is always an option on my subscriber survey for I like everything, you do you, Jeff. Badafubi, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. All right, little 3-2. He's going the distance, chat. He's going full speed. I just resubbed to say yes to Modern Horizons 2. God bless. All right, are you dead? Is this lethal? Man, what a weird game. What a weird game. For the record, I think Grafdigger's Cage is a bad card in the Flash deck. I think Quandrix Command is really sweet. And if you do have Grafdigger's Cage, I explicitly don't think Grafdigger's Cage is very good against our deck. It basically just stops looting from flashing back, and that's pretty minimal. I just want to vindicate people, chat. I wouldn't mind doing that. I'm enjoying Historic, but I also wouldn't mind vindicating people at the end of next month. Correct. Yeah, the Gear Hulk just like is a non-factor when they have the cage out. This hand really needs a Faithless Looting. It's sad that this didn't find it. Alright, sweet. Grawl means that this is going to get to block. Hey, Driftwood. Thanks for the prime. I appreciate the 2 months. Welcome back. I love Dragon Storm so far, but I refuse to play with the sideboard. Big mood. Oh, they're not Grawl. They're playing mopey flying creatures. Well, the good news is, if they don't rest in peace us, this matchup's probably pretty decent for us. Assuming we get to play Magic. We might not get to play Magic this game. They're taking this or this. That's probably the smart one to take. One Faithless Looting, please. Ooh, they have Dramoka's Command in their main deck. Jeskai Control makes everybody sad. It's a core feature of the archetype. We did, Yummy. We had this really mopey game 3 where we, like, attacked with a 3-2 for a couple of turns and they died. I don't think that's true at all, Shark and Bake. The people that tend to play decks like Jeskai Control love that shit. I fully expect, for the record, for people that hear me talking about Jeskai Control, if you enjoy playing Jeskai Control, you can and should play it, okay? Don't let me yuck your yum, okay? Just don't expect to get on camera. The feature matches at the Hoaglandia Open have a sweet deck bias. We playing Mardu tokens tomorrow with tomorrow or next week? Probably tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna do one more deck after this, so we're gonna play Grixis Dragon still. So tokens should happen tomorrow. Really? They took that? That's interesting. This is our 4th deck of the day. Is that lethal? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Sedge. So, Red-White Midrange is a deck that I won't make an effort to feature in the early rounds because I think it's competitive enough that I can wait to feature it till the later matches. Because it will likely still have copies of it left in the tournament. So, like, I expect a handful of people to show up with Red-White Midrange, but I probably won't make an effort to put them on. Put them on in the early rounds because I expect to be able to, get to them rounds 4, 5, 6, etc. Speaking of, if you're playing in the open tournament, the decklist submission deadline isn't until Sunday right before the tournament happens. But if you know what you're playing and want to submit your deck list the night before, I'll go through all the people that have submitted their decks in advance and make notes of who to feature in the first couple of rounds for who's playing sweet things. So, if you want the highest chance of getting a feature match, if you know you're playing something sweet, submit your deck the night before if you know what you're playing. Hey, 30 Stalker, thanks for the preg. Welcome to the channel. May shock you, but I added Bone Crusher to Dragonstorm and it's better now. I mean, more Eldraine does tend to make things better. Thanks for the follow, Triado. Emberton on Crown. Good afternoon. Bolt Snap Bolt. Oh, modern. And Kobo, thanks for 3 subs. Howdy doody, folks. We got 2 friends in here. All of our friends are gone, chat. They've been murdered. The feeling you'll know my response on June survey. God bless. Look for that. It'll be about the middle of the month. I'll send that out, and I'll post in the Discord and on Twitter when it happens. Oh, 4 mana, no place, huh? Turn 1 elf, turn 2 hate piece, turn 3 collecting company. Sometimes they want it more than you, chat. It's okay. Sometimes they want it more than you. Is this paper or on Arena? The tournament on Sunday is on Arena. If you're interested in checking it out, you can check out the details for past opens as well as the upcoming open on my website there. Honestly, this deck that we're playing is probably one that's at its worst right now in terms of format timing, because with Elish Norn being added to the format, the graveyard's a little bit more contested zones. People are trying Reanimator brews, and like once the hot new thing stops being Reanimator, there'll be a little bit less graveyard hate running around. Sweet Wiz Bandit, yeah, we'll be here all day doing coverage. Yeah, I mean, like, one of the big upsides to Arena Stalker is that, like, it plays games of Magic so fast, right? And, like, the stakes are so minimalistic when you're playing any individual match on the ladder that it's like, if you lose, it's just like, it's fine, let's just move to the next one. And, like, Magic Online, in comparison, the games are slow, and you have to pay $10 to play 5 matches. Every time you lose, you're, like, literally flushing money down the toilet. Alright, I think we salvage here, trying to find a supplier. Nailed it. You never liked MTGO's UI. Yeah, you and everybody else that has eyes. An MTGO League is $10. It is, yes. Magic the Gathering Online is online gambling, chat. You pay $10 to play your league matches, and then the prizes that you get, you can cash out for real money. It is unregulated online gambling. Did you? Survey says... Come on, just let me put the things into play. Yeah, he's dead. You got him. The Stitcher Supplier shall carry the mantle. Oh my gosh, we're 1 point short? Seriously? I didn't count. I just assumed they were dead. Silly me. Never lucky. We have not played Dead Guy Ale. Dead Guy Ale will probably be a deck that's going to take us a little bit to get back to, maybe like the end of next week. Because that deck didn't really get any new tools with the historic anthology, so on stream time we'll largely focus on things that got new toys. Was that a good draw? If so, why? Please explain. Nailed it. Thinking of crafting your first historic deck, should you wait for the format to stabilize? Depends on what type of deck you're looking to build. I think all of the like top tier decks that are good now, anything that's in the proven or high potential category of my website, I think all those decks are fairly stable, and I would expect them to remain competitive, regardless of where the format ends up at. I think if you're looking to play something that's a little bit more off the beaten path, figuring out like what the B-list decks that are still reasonably competitive look like takes a little bit more time. All right, so I think we're gonna bring in Klothys here. I don't think this is a matchup where I want to fully pivot off our primary game plan. You just trim around the edges a touch. I don't mind trimming Stitcher Supplier in the matchups where it's not likely to block. You want to bring in Ceratops? I guess that's true. It does like Stonewall. Are we supposed to pivot a bit? Maybe we're supposed to pivot a bit. We could like halfway go. We could like play the Ceratops and cut the Ancestral Mask, like bring in a couple of Maelstrom Pulse. What if we did this? Is this too mid-lane? I think I kind of like this. Like halfway. I don't think I like the discard spells. Let's give this a try. We're thinking about rogues. I do think that rogues is going to get a little bit weaker with the addition of Relic of Progenitus in the format, but I would be surprised if it became unplayable. That deck has a pretty decent Jeskai control matchup, which I think is one of its selling points. I think that archetype's still very good. Also, if you have that deck from Standard, it's a pretty good buy-in point, because you won't have to pick up that much for it. Let the greed consume you, chat. It's not greedy, we have 2 Faithless Lootings. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We get caught with our hand in the cookie jar, chat. They're my cookies and I want them now. Hit me, dealer. Nailed it. Swish. I would like to remind everybody that I am a trained professional and you should not attempt this at home. Or do, you know? I'm not your dad. Don't let me tell you how to live your life. I want to just murder this. You're not my dad. This is not how I wanted to find out. Listen, chat, I am already responsible for the well-being of 3 tiny beautiful children. So, I don't need the responsibility of you all as well. Alright, I think we Stormy Boy to get them to blow the lantern. Maybe I'm supposed to Faithless Looting first. Oh, they're just shocking, so it doesn't force it. That's fair. Alright, they've been to Burb. Have you heard about their bird chat? The parent, you were probably right the first time. Yeah. Could have returned the runes to draw. That is not correct. I'd encourage you to read Storm Herald. I imagine our next Herald here is going to get the Soul Guide Lantern to pull the trigger. I mean, I don't think the current iteration is doing anything fundamentally different than the others. I've heard some people talking about this card being obsolete in a post Relic of Progenitus world, and this is a really good example of that not being the case, right? Soul Guide Lantern enabling our opponent to hold up the ability to exile our graveyard without having to tap while still tapping out is a big deal. Whereas Relic of Progenitus requires you to spend a mana to exile a graveyard. Correct, yes. When you're a graveyard-centric deck as well, Soul Guide Lantern also doesn't exile your graveyard. Because you're playing something like Phoenix. I think I'm happy with how we sideboarded. Just try and line things up a little bit better in this next game. Exclamation point help in chat will list all of the bot commands. Or we'll give you, more specifically, give you a link that will list all of the bot commands. There's a lot of bot commands, so I can't post them all in chat. Sand's fine. Nothing to write home about, but their deck's not super aggressive. Calls the Dead, enables Storm Herald pretty nicely. Why did I change plugins? Because Cardboard Live was barely functional and held together with duct tape. And Untapped is really, really good software. Remember, Cardboard Live was literally the only option for that. Or for Twitch extensions for Magic. And now that's no longer the case. And it's lovely. Just lovely. Alright, please bin triple Prodigious Growth next turn. Boo. And Untap being good makes me consider switching in-game overlays too. That's exactly why Untap took the time to make a Twitch extension. It is a ton of great advertising for their desktop extension that a bunch of people like click into my profile and see all the great stats and stuff that they do and other features that they have via my thing. and encourages them to give the desktop app a try. And honestly, more people using their desktop application is a win-win for everyone. We frequently talk about on stream how there aren't enough, we don't have enough sample sizes for a lot of stuff related to Magic, and more people using something like Untapped can change that. Give us better looks and feels of what's going on in the formats from a statistically significant standpoint. Please don't discard a second bird. Don't do it. Have a heart. Alright, we're in a position to race one Phoenix, especially with Prodigious Growth in hand. Okay, so with Growth in hand and Growth on top, I think we actually play a tap plan, Shifting Ceratops here, so I can growth something next turn. Are they dead? Pretty dead to me. Grow, my children, grow. We actually haven't had very many, like, full-on combo games today, but this session's been a good example of, like, how scrappy this deck can be. Just, like, tripping over itself, putting mediocre zombies into play, casting runes and Prodigious Growth like we're a crappy limited deck. This hand's a banger, chat. We get to go Supplier into Supplier Looting into Storm Herald kill you. Gosh, we might even get to block with Supplier in the middle. Okay. Take the card the deck is named after. Strong play. See, my bad cards on top senses were tingling there, chat, so I jump blocked. We do need to find our way back to another Storm Herald here at some point. Need a Grisly Salvage or a Binding or just how to draw it. They Thoughtseize plus the Shockland. I'm gonna take 2 here. I'm gonna save this to block on a turn where they're attacking for 4, I think. Joke's on you, I didn't want that spell anyways. And Binding of the Titans here is honestly the best card in our deck against these discard-based decks, because it's like a Storm Herald sitting in play where they can't discard it until we can cast it, which is just lovely. Just hanging out. The odds they have a removal spell here. I might have kept that to play around removal. Yeah, that could have been a consideration for sure. Come on, just tap out for me. You're dead. Don't concede. Let me see the big number. Let me see the big number. That's some good stuff right there, chat. He's a thick boy. Now, the question is, do we pivot here or not? My gut says no. Hey, Strelix, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. So, I don't think Klothys is good here, because if my opponent brings in Graveyard Hate, it's probably Rest in Peace, and Rest in Peace actually turns off Klothys. We could pivot for this game on the draw, and then pivot back for the game on the play if there's a game 3. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna pivot. And we will readjust if necessary for game 3 on the play. Would a Lurrus deck play Rip? That's a good point. Oh yeah, they're a Lurrus deck. Yeah, I think... Oh, small children. Yeah, I think just Pulse to hedge seems fine. Let's not. I think I want to bring in Pulse. I want to cut a couple of things. All right, what do I want to trim exactly is the question. These blockers are good here. That's a little. I think it was something about a zombie crew. What's going on, Bauer? Thanks for the follow. That was Declan for those of you that are new here. He's my 6-year-old. I have three tiny goblins, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an almost 1-year-old. Haley's birthday is in 2 weeks. She's huge, chat. She already walks all around the house unassisted. I don't know where my tiny baby went. I should really update her picture. She looks pretty different than from that one. Should ask Christy to do that. Yeah, today's decks have been pretty good, Baron. We've been winning more than we've been losing. Yeah. I cleared my browser cookies and Twitch went to bright mode and now I'm blind. Yeah, Haley was born during peak COVID. We were very lucky that I was able to go to the hospital with her. There's a small point in time there where it looked like she was gonna have to go on her own. Maybe I want to retool our sideboard a little bit to have some extra ways to deal with Soul Guide Lantern. The previous build of this had a couple of green-black commands in the main deck which could kill them. So I only had 2 Maelstrom Pulse in the sideboard. I feel like if I cut those... I think I like not having the commands in the main, but without them it feels like we're a little bit soft to Graveyard Hate if we're not full pivoting. Yeah, Hexproof doesn't make any sense, Mr. Photon, because exactly what you said. Now, if their Graveyard Hate of choice is Lantern, that makes sense to their Klothys, their Lurrus deck. Maybe we do board in Klothys, because this is a way to kill them through that. We'll have a hard time getting value out of K-Command as a way to kill Graveyard Hate Navier, because you won't ever be able to pick up a creature with it, is the issue. I think I'd rather just play, like, Assassin's Trophies or Maelstrom Pulses. Oh! Ancient Grudge is legal. And Ancient Grudge could be sweet, because Soul Guide Lantern and Relic are the ones that are being most annoying. I don't hate Relic, or I don't hate Ancient Grudge. Yeah, because Ancient Grudge, we can find off of milling over. I don't know how many of those I want to play, but like at least one Grudge seems fine, because we see so many cards when we're milling, we have a high chance to draw it. You're something else, kid. Nice. Oh, they're Mardu. Okay, must be like a more aggressive shadow build. Well, okay, hopefully this finds another Klothys. Or it could find lethal. I'm down for the turn 3 lethal. This Grisly Salvage card is pretty good, chat. There might be something to this Grisly Salvage card. Thunk. Nailed it. My God, air horn noise, definitely. Respect the salvage, chat. Respect the salvage. I do think I want an Ancient Grudge in the sideboard. I don't know what I want to cut. Do I need 3 Klothys? 3 is a lot of Klothys. We turn a Klothys into a Grudge. I think I want to turn Klothys into a Grudge. This deck definitely passes the turn 4 Goldfish, turn 3 nut draw. Yeah, definitely. For sure. In fact, we've been going for an hour and a half, and we're not done. We're gonna be done with this deck though. So we're gonna close out on adding an Ancient Grudge to the sideboard. We got to highlight Shifting Ceratops being excellent against Jeskai control, so I think I like where we ended up at. I could see like maybe one more piece of anti-graveyard hate in the sideboard, but third pulse maybe over like a questing beast. But the pivot sideboard plan, if you're really expecting a lot of graveyard hate, you basically want to board in everything but the Ancient Grudge and pull out the combo and just become this scrappy Jund deck. And if you didn't see us do that, this whole set will be up on the YouTube channel and my website later. I'm going to update the video that's on the deck page for this because today's set was good, and I'll show a couple of matches where we did that. Don't go anywhere just yet, though. We've got one more sweet deck coming.